Hello, everyone. This is Serge from Code Engine Studio. I am the client advocate here. And today with me on our webcast, the Techtonic Lounge webcast, is a guest from Acquia, one of our partners. We partner with Acquia. Jake, welcome to the show. Tell us who you are, what keeps you busy most days.
Sounds good. Hi, Serge. Great to be here. Thanks for having me, and really great to speak with you here today about one of my favorite topics, DAM, of course. And so I'm the VP of go-to-market and sales for Acquia's DAM and PIM business, and been a long-time DAM industry veteran, 20 years in this space. And I can tell you, the DAM puns never get old. So look forward to hearing all about DAM and my perspectives in it here today. Spent 18 years with the company that Acquia acquired in 2021, which was Widen, where I started in 2004 as a marketing intern and rose to help Widen become a leader in DAM, leading the sales and go-to-market for Widen, as well as many aspects of our customer experience, and continue to be a champion for the DAM industry, for DAM and brand management, and the role that it plays in digital experience platforms for Acquia. So really excited to be here and speak with you here today about DAM.
So I may give our video guy a challenge to put a little countdown of how many times you use the word DAM, just to make it fun. Usually we don't get that far. Let's just debrief our listeners. Not everybody is technologically aware as most of us, but we do have some people who are more business oriented. A DAM is a digital asset management system. Give us just a basic breakdown for non-techies. What is a DAM?
Yeah, absolutely. Well, we could give the Saturday, Sunday definition of it. DAM is the place where you manage all of your images, videos, and documents to really share across your organization and beyond. The more industry specific term for it with digital asset management is it's a combination of software system, process, strategy, and applied people and talent to manage the creation, the management organization, distribution, publishing, and really the repurposing and understanding of your digital assets. And that's your images, videos, documents, creative files, brand assets, communication materials, training materials, really any form of rich media content for your marketing product. And it really becomes a core part of the content stack.
Right. So just to clarify a lot of misconceptions around it, and I've talked with customers like, well, DAM is just like Google Drive, right? You just throw up images on there and have one folder for your video, one folder for your audio files, one folder for your logos, and that's the same as a DAM, right? Basically the same thing.
Well, not exactly. Google Drive, Box, OneDrive, other file sharing tools can serve a purpose for storing, managing, sharing your digital assets, your files, but DAM is really mission critical and foundational to the digital experience for your employees, for your partners, especially for providing a more rich, accessible, and productive customer experience. And so DAM serves a wide variety of functions, including marketing teams, creative teams, sales teams, product teams, IT departments, corporate communications, and even your external partners and your agencies, interacting with agencies, and a really wide set of the organization that all relies upon your logos, your brand assets, your templates, your most widely used digital imagery, videos, all of that rich media that's used widely across your marketing functions, as well as the communications that your brand puts into the marketplace. That's what DAM can really serve. And really nearly all size organizations across nearly all industries have amassed a load of content over the last decade, leading to content chaos and a need to wrangle that with a central source of truth that they can confidently go to. And that is
Absolutely.
the purpose that DAM serves.
Yeah, so I think this is where we get into a little bit more fine point, and the answer I've given, and I don't have your level of experience in the DAM world, but we've worked with a couple clients that have considered DAMs, they've implemented DAMs, And one of the common things I will say is Google Drive is a good starting point to store things, or OneBox or OneDrive or whatever tools you have, or even SharePoint, which was kind of the precursor to a lot of the more managed solutions. However, what a DAM does for you is more than just store. It allows you to have more fine point control of who accesses and how they use it and how much information within a particular bucket of storage, however you define the terminology is. But it also gives you data. It gives you data on where the product is used. One of the things is I can put we had a client in media world. I'll give it a real life example. And they wanted to know a particular image of a particular popular person that they were covering. Well, have we used this image more than 5 times on the site before? And for some reason, storing it on Box or Dropbox or wherever did not tell them how many times it was linked on different pages of their website. And that's why we told them, guys, you need to consider a DAM. And this is, before the modern DAM implementations made it a little bit easier even. But the idea is if you want to be able to have a little more fine point control, a little bit more access, I think a DAM is a step up. If I'm a tiny shop and I have a tiny little, Instagram page, maybe I don't need a DAM, right? But there's going to be a time when you evolve. So let's do this. Let's kind of put on creative hat for a second. I'm a business owner, and I am in my decision process of where my website and my digital presences, all my variety are going to go. And one of my advisors tells me, I think we need to consider a DAM. And I'm going, all right. Hey, Jake, why do I need a DAM? So walk me through this for a business owner. And I'll give you a real life example so we can do this. We have a customer who is in the furniture industry business, right? So they manufacture furniture in multiple locations. They ship it. They sell it. They do custom orders. They have PDFs of very specific designs on pieces that are not like Acquia, but pieces that are very specific. And they also have photographs. They have 3D models. They have some videos describing some of the unique antique pieces, so on and so forth. And for right now, they all manage them somewhere. Maybe, as you said, they're handling media chaos or asset chaos. So why do I need a DAM?
Yeah, I think a big part of it gets at that solving for content chaos. That's the burning need, and DAM provides that centralized, secure source of truth so that all of your employees and partners can go to the source for what they need and can confidently see this is the most current, the highest quality, the uses and the appropriate use is all managed there in that source of truth that is the DAM. So it starts with getting organized and operating more efficiently from there. And that can include more efficient sales enablement, channel enablement, and be able to supply everyone that is a communicator of your brand promise and representative of your organization to have what they need in the way that they communicate. And most of our communication today involves the use of digital content. And so DAM serves that purpose.
So let's dig into a couple of real nitty gritty examples just so people understand some of the advantages that we think of developing technology, right? So I'm a furniture manufacturer. I have 25, 30 resellers with their physical stores. And we have this lovely chest of drawers, and we got a really good photographer come out and get really good images of it. Now, we had the images before. We decided to update them. Mm-hmm. If I have the old school way without a DAM, I have to put them up on Google Drive and send an email out to all my distributors and say, hey, guys, you need to update that image and make sure they get it down to their correct resolution for their site. How would the same thing happen through the DAM? Let's say I do have, let's say Acquia DAM or some other DAM integrated with my website and have access to all my distributors. How would that work? I have new images. What happens next?
Oh, yeah, that's a great use case. And that's the beauty of a DAM. Version control, the sharing and embedding capabilities of digital assets from that central source across your digital experience in your website. You just go to the DAM, update those images in that one source, and it will automatically reflect the most current digital image wherever that's used online. And create once, publish everywhere. The COPE strategy is what we like to refer to. And the way we see it, you should only manage that one master asset wherever is, and then wherever that asset is used is a great place to have visibility into how your content is used across all channels.
Okay, so managing, updating content, version controls, giving access to people who are not even within my organization, like partners. What else, as a business owner, would I find useful within DAM?
Yeah, absolutely. Well, let's look at the creative end of DAM, and that's to provide a more streamlined creative and production workflow so that you can reference what you have for the recreation, the reuse, repurposing, reimagining, or recycling of previous content assets for new projects, new campaigns, new product launches, new events. And this would allow you to focus on producing higher quality content and less on managing the actual digital assets. Helps creatives and designers be more strategic and creative versus having to address a lot of the intricacies with file management. And
So,
then
so what
there
you're
is
saying is, so what you're saying is, my designer can easily access the past things we've done and kind of build on top of that without having to go dig through 25 different folders. Is that what you're kind of saying?
absolutely, yeah, that's the beauty of DAM right there for design and creative team and individual, which is a huge time saver. And nothing really frustrates designers more than having to take more time out of design or thinking creatively to just get to the start of a project, or ultimately ensuring people are using the creations that they come up with. And that's the other end of DAM. And that's the distribution, publishing, and experience end of digital asset management. And that's to ensure that those digital assets are used across teams, tools, channels, all of your MarTech stack that uses content to provide that customer experience, or that digital experience for the audiences that you serve. And this can enhance commerce, it can enhance sales, it can enhance the consumption of content wherever we as consumers go to consume our information.
Okay. So I can manage my content better. I can be more creative with my content. I can distribute it more easily. Are we missing anything else?
I think that's at its core. One of the other great value points of a DAM is to really understand how is this content being used. Be able to have some reporting and analytics to know this was worth creating because people are using it in this way. We should create more of that. Or nobody's using this. What's going on? Is it because we didn't make it easily accessible, or is it because it's just not as worthy?
Yeah, I actually have a real life Acquia customer who was telling me that they spent 20 times more time creating version A and 20 times less time creating version B, for multiple media assets. And then everybody fell in love with version B. And they're like, well, let's not build version A anymore of the rest of the assets because that's what everybody loves. Let's go with version B. It takes less time and we see real life usage. And our I think there were store partners or whoever else it was using it. They're like, well, yeah, the other one's just too fancy for us. We like the clear cut, whatever you guys did with this poster or whatever that was. And like, so I think sometimes having that clear data helps you make better decisions because it's not just overwhelming, but you can specifically tell and see if people are taking advantage of what's being created or even taking too much advantage, like the same images being used over and over again that are outdated, or maybe, we don't want to keep. If something as simple as, your picture's all over Acquia site, I'm pretty sure, but if your picture has been out of date a few years, then yeah, probably want to update that and make sure that it's in all the places at once, and then you get the latest one and which one are we accessing and so on. Okay, so you've convinced me that I need to consider DAM. We're not going to talk costs here because that's going to vary on too many factors, but it's really simple, right? I just install it like I did a piece of software in the old days, click two magic buttons, upload all my files, and I'm done, and it's easy to go, right?
Well, that's one way to look at it, but there's generally more to consider as you get ready for a DAM, and I like to to help customers think through 10 steps or 10 things to truly get ready for a dam. And I just want you to remember 3 of them. And really the first, or step 0 rather, is to start with why, to really get a greater understanding of what you're embarking on, because there will be a level of change management and change leadership required. And this is true with any digital transformation or technology project. And you should really consider DAM as a living product of your organization, not just a project with a start date and end date. And so there's a lot to prepare for that, so that you can realize the true potential of your DAM investment. But more importantly, the content investments that you as an organization have made or will make to view content as a strategic asset to the organization. And I think that's really important. And so starting with why is the first thing that I hope you remember, because that's really step 0. And from there, DAM is a team sport like any technology project. Assemble your DAM team. And we like to call this the DAM Coalition. It's your core group of stakeholders that will be impacted by the assembly of that digital asset management solution and the process that goes around it, or the processes that go around it. And with that, we think it's important to consider the purpose, the guidelines, and the documented processes that we call developing your governance plan or your governance framework. And the concept of content governance is really important this day and age, especially in the age of AI. I expect we'll talk more about AI in just a moment, but it's really important to have a good governance plan that defines the purpose, the guidelines, the processes for digital asset management. And then from there, like a lot of technological initiatives, you need to invest in knowledge and training, more so for that change management and change leadership aspects, because DAM can really be revolutionary to your workflows. Using a DAM is not hard. It's intuitive, like many of the other file sharing tools and the software that we use every day. But getting people to change their habits, that's the hard thing. And so that's what we really focus on with DAM. And from there, to engage your stakeholders early and often, as we want you to ensure that you're meeting the needs of the organization, aligning the capabilities of DAM with your desired outcomes, planning for additional brand management capabilities over time. And then from there, also documenting your processes, integrating your technology, and come up with a continuous improvement process that where you can put new processes in place, new content into the market, and then iterate from there. How is my content being used? How can we make these processes more efficient and effective as a result of having this central source of truth and this set of automation that comes with having a DAM?
So a couple of things that I take away from that, and we've dealt with some clients with, I want to ask you a question in a minute about integration, but I want to specifically say, I think that coalition idea is very powerful, because if it's a top-down decision from the leadership, and often it is, right, that we need to do this, we need to evolve, we need to get a DAM, you still need to get people on board who will buy into it and see the value in it and understand that why for their department or their team or their area of expertise within the company. Because without that buy-in, you're just going to be fighting a battle of, hey, we have this new tool. Well, it shouldn't just be a tool. In my mind, a DAM is more of a system than a tool, right? It's an idea of you're changing the way you do business. Just like while Slack is a tool, we use Slack in a very specific way. We use the messaging because how many fewer emails we write now because we have Slack, right? So how many things you wouldn't have to do if you have a DAM that, you were doing a different way before. You are taking the time to invest, but you're hopefully creating better productivity, better governance, better systems. The other thing I like what you said, and I'm kind of phrasing it a little bit differently, is don't try to eat that giant elephant in one bite. I think it's good to understand where is the low-hanging fruit of what you can implement first and getting your things on board and getting them set up. But the fact that there's going to be a continual improvement and continual evolution, and you pour more and more assets and get more and more different people in different areas of your company or even outside your company trained up and comfortable using it once it has materials that are useful to them in it.
Yeah, absolutely. And I think that's really important to embrace as DAM is an evolution. It can be a revolution to where you are today, but as you go over time, it will be an evolution to the way you work. And I really like that Slack analogy. Slack has become the digital HQ for many companies, and DAM is really the content vault for going to the place where you can know this is the most current trusted asset that we can use according to its usage guidelines, according to its rights, and according to how will this asset help us meet our goals.
So were there any more of the 10 steps that you want to cover before we dive into a few specific questions?
Well, one thing I do like to really emphasize is that DAM, not only is it not a one system for one team resource, DAM is not to be another silo. It's not an island. DAM is meant to be integrated, and to look at how you can integrate and extend the power of DAM across your marketing technology stack or across your digital experience is really important, so that you can get the maximum value, not only of your DAM investment, but your digital content investments, as well as the investment you put in creating a richer, more accessible customer experience. And I think that's really important.
And that's huge. And I'll go into real life examples here and jump in to correct me or to add on. I can immediately think of customers that say, well, our web team needs DAM to be able to integrate better things for our e-commerce shop. Well, the guys who are doing marketing emails, they better be on board too, because those same assets should be coming out in the emails. And the folks who are doing direct sales, who are emailing people directly or who are sending stuff via WhatsApp, Slack, Telegram, whatever the message they're sending to potential customers, they need to be able to do stuff. Or the folks who are handling events, all their stuff they're printing out or whatever need to be using it as well. And as long as we slowly start bringing in all these teams and getting them aligned, I think eventually the value is going to, as opposed to being a silo, it's going to create more of a spoke system, hub and spoke system where, thinking of the airport analogy here, where yes, you're flying out in all these different directions, but we're all starting from one spot and we can all reconnect back and make sure the system is in place.
Absolutely. Yeah, I like that analogy as well, that hub and spoke system. In fact, that's a source of inspiration for the fictitious brand that we use to show our capabilities, Eudaimonia Bikes, and inspired by that hub and spoke system of having that central source for content management and organization, and then it's used from there, and it's a revolving wheel, much like a bicycle tire. So really love that visual.
So let's get into some of the integrations. So I have a DAM, and let's say some of my content there. We'll talk more about managing the content in a minute. What are some of the integrations I need to be considering throughout the process? Because we obviously know the most obvious one is a website, right? So you're pushing the content out to a website. What are some of the things that you've seen really make a difference in a business that can be integrations with existing tools, integrations with processes that really can give a company a lift?
Yeah, absolutely. Well, again, considering that hub and spoke model for content management organization, integrating DAM with other systems of record, including your product information management, including your customer relationship management or customer communications engine, marketing technology, marketing automation platforms, in addition to, of course, your website, your web content management system. We like to say CMS and DAM go together like peanut butter and jelly. And so that really is a game changer when you can have ease of access for creating new web content, new digital experiences alongside the most current, richest digital assets that your organization has. We also want to make sure that we address the needs of creators so that we can make their life more efficient and effective and help them streamline their work so that they can be more creative and deliver greater design. And so integrating with Creative Cloud and the creative capabilities where digital assets are created is often the most popular starting point. Integrating with project management and file sharing and collaboration systems. That's all important to ensure that we can provide a more efficient, effective creative process. And then there is the downstream distribution, sales enablement, e-commerce. Those are other major sources of integration between DAM and those systems. Social media, and really anywhere where we as consumers consume content, you can think that DAM feeds into that.
Okay, so you piqued my interest on two things I actually didn't think about before. Is there ability to integrate things like whether it's Canva or Figma or Miro into DAM? Is there a way to feed the data from those tools into a DAM?
Yeah, absolutely. You can be working in Canva and get digital assets, or you can create creations in Canva and sync it to the DAM for reuse.
That's wonderful.
Mhm.
Social media one is the one that caught my attention as well, because I understand, we have a social media for this webcast, so I have a Google Drive folder where all those files go and so on and so forth. But how would a DAM make the social media usage easier? Can you automate posting from DAM, or is there more of a versioning control, approval process? What else is the DAM going to help with in that space?
Yeah. The main integration between DAM and social media is to integrate with other social media management platforms, where when you're preparing your post, you can seamlessly get access to the most current, richest, highest quality digital asset for the channel.
Okay, so if I'm using Hootsuite or something like that to post to multiple things, I can immediately log in without having to just go grab a URL. I can integrate with that and go to town.
Precisely. Yes.
Okay. I also have seen at least a couple Acquia customers that I talked to at the Acquia Connect event last year, I believe, talk about they use it internally for all their training documentation, ability to distribute materials to staff. It doesn't have to be just customer facing materials. It could be internal materials, because shockingly, the bigger the company, the more manuals and paperwork exist and having to search for them and everything else. And one of them said, well, we had this whole system. I said, wait, we have a DAM. Why don't we just put that there?
That's a great use case for DAM, and one to really embrace. And I think a lot of organizations have embraced the video content, the on-demand learning that has come about over the last decade. And a DAM is a great system to manage all of that content that only enriches and enlightens the employee experience.
Okay. The other thing I wanted to kind of get into is I've heard this term, which I think is we should definitely have a hat made for this or something, called the need for a damn librarian. I think it was a major brand that spoke and in Miami that talked about, how they created the role of damn librarian, the training they received, and that value. So what the heck is a damn librarian? Because I'm picturing, librarian in my old college library, where her job was to shush everyone. Doesn't seem like that's the role we're talking about here.
Yeah, no, I'm glad you asked that, because I really believe that the role of the damn librarian is not only a key role now, but even more important going forward in this age of AI. Now, imagine the traditional library. Imagine how effective and efficient it would be as a uh, consumer or patron of a library if there wasn't a librarian that ensured that all of the books, all of the media was in a findable order. That would be chaos. Now apply that to digital asset management, where organizations today have tens, hundreds of thousands and millions of files. And these are files that people want to be able to access on a daily basis and reuse, not just keep and archive, but make greater use of, just like checking out a library book. So the role of that digital librarian is really to put order and process in place so that those digital assets can be found, used according to their rights and purposes, and also providing the guidance so that the entire organization knows how to use the DAM and knows that these digital assets have real value. And that's a really critical role, especially now in the age of AI and how Gen AI is changing a lot of things for a lot of industries, including the creation of content, the use of content.
So I'll mention one more thing about the damn librarian, and I will get into AI with you because you're just serving it up on a plate for me. As far as the damn librarian, the example that I heard in a recent conversation with somebody who serves in that role, she told me that, if you were to have a shelf dedicated to English literature and you have the works of Dickens, you may have 9 or 10 editions of, some of his greatest books. And so you will sort them out and you'll make sure that, they're there and they're cataloged correctly. And of course, we all love the Dewey Decimal System. Speaking of an age test, I'm pretty sure our listeners who were born, after 1995 are sitting there going, what is a Dewey Decimal System? Um, we're not going to talk about microfiche and card catalogs and all those other things that I recall from the college library that left my fingers worn out. But the difference would be this woman works for a food manufacturer, and she said we update labels all the time because sometimes based on the harvest we have to alter the recipe a little bit, or there's a little bit less of this, or we have to add this spice or whatever it may be. So we have different labels with nutritional value on them, and they change sometimes 3 times a year. And so if they grab the wrong one, that there's going to be a problem with somebody going, wait, that's not the correct nutritional value on this product. And now as it was having a dam, whoever's printing out the latest brochure to ship out to Publix or whatever grocery store is near you, Wegmans, whatever, they'll get the latest information, not have to think that it's correct, right? Having that damn librarian make sure that what you're getting is the right amount of data and the right media file, the right video file, the right audio file, and so I think that that's a great resource to consider. Okay, so as much as some of the folks get a little tired of AI, I think it's today's world is hard to step three steps in tech space without AI hitting us in the face. Part of me thinks that, if you're a digital content creator, AI is both a friend and an enemy. But how does AI impact the world of DAM?
Yeah, absolutely. Well, you're right on that you can't take 3 steps in the tech space without hearing and talking about AI. And I'm of the mindset that we must embrace it. It's here to stay. We need to leverage it to gain new superpowers. And that does not mean that some of the core foundations of what we know about digital asset management are not as important. They are more important now, including the concepts of governance and metadata and being able to organize content in a way that is findable, reusable, and managed and governed in a way according to its rights and uses. And because that's really important consideration in this age of AI. And I will say Gen AI is the biggest technological revolution or advancement of our generation. And DAM can be a big part of that. It should be. And it's there. This is why I like thinking about the future, because we're in it. And with content as the lifeblood of your brand, your employee, and your customer experience, DAM is right at the heart of it all. And it can be seen as a content hub. And AI plays into that in many different ways for the delivery, use, consumption, measurement, repurposing, and valuation of digital content. And so when I think about the future of DAM in this age of AI, this includes the most foundational aspects of DAM, and that is just enhanced organization and retrieval. One of the most time-consuming and daunting things with DAM for the last 20 years has been the concept of adding and managing metadata. And metadata is the foundation to the digital asset. It's how it's cataloged, organized, consumed, classified, managed, and used according to its rights. And AI is a big driver of new forms of metadata tagging and supporting the classification and retrieval of digital assets. So that's foundational, enhanced asset organization and retrieval.
So let's make this even simpler for some of our listeners. If I'm hearing you correctly, what you're saying is if I have these 500 images, instead of me manually going through and creating different tags, whether they're color-based, shape-based, style of imagery, whether it's a photograph or clip art or whatever it may be, line art, so on and so forth, if there's a good model of AI that analyzes an image and outputs the metadata for me, and of course, then you do some customized training or whatever for it it can do that a heck of a lot faster than I can go through 500. And if we multiply that by thousands of images, even going back to the food company, they have labels or they have, bottles or whatever their product. Well, you know what? I have all these images. I can tell it, well, the ones for this year look like this, the ones for this year look like this, sort them out and give them the correct tagging. And we're talking about a humongous time saver.
Absolutely. AI gives you a really great starting point, makes those assets immediately findable, or at least to a place that you can go in and do some editing. And I do emphasize that you should always have a layer of human oversight still. AI just is not far enough along in DAM to go without human oversight, without risk. And so there is still that need, but it gives you a great starting point. And I think that's really important to embrace. And that's for adding tags, adding descriptions, captions, alt text for SEO and accessibility purposes, and then providing those assets in a way that can be not only found and used, but more immediately applied for your business goals.
What about the AI generative content and being able to have it live inside your DAM? Is that a direction you're seeing as well?
Yeah, I mean, that's part of that future of DAM and AI and the convergence of DAM and AI, getting at the content creation and personalization aspects of that, to be able to generate new iterations of existing content in a way that deliver more personalized content to meet the preferences or needs of your audiences. And I think that's really fascinating and exciting aspect that we're paying close attention to. In addition to the workflow automation and efficiency gains with AI, and to think about the future of Gen AI to not only deliver more richer, personalized, and relevant customer experience, but more immersive content experiences that become more compelling to be a part of.
Yeah, I think the idea of personalizing, I mean, we've already seen evolution, in e-commerce, being able to visualize a certain piece of art in your room, or being able to even rearrange the furniture in your furniture store, or place yourself in a vacation spot and see what you look like. Well, if AI can do that, then shoot, what does that shirt look like on me if I were to buy that shirt, right? I'm a big dude, so obviously I need to make sure that shirt fits me well. It can actually, looking through this camera, analyze my size and say, here's the size I recommend. Let's show you what that looks like when you wear that shirt. And like, okay, I'll get a size bigger, or whatever it may be. And I think that's when I think about the ideas of we can do this, and you have your assets that are base assets for obviously for the shirts that are living in the DAM, and the AI takes them, uses them, and implements them based on my input. When we can merge that together, it creates that deep level personalization that I think drives customers to be the repeat customers. Because if I can make it easier, I'll come back, right? Anything that saves me time, anything that makes me feel more comfortable in a shopping experience, especially, or in a consumption experience, I think that's a very powerful thing. One last thing I want to kind of throw out there. I was having a conversation with a security expert, and something came up about Dropbox particularly, because a lot of folks on Dropbox, to be able to share with the multitude of users, have made their folders wide open, and they have found certain AIs being taught or trained on their content. And they were like, no, we didn't want our content out there for that. We wanted to share with our partners, not for AI to train on. So you mentioned the word secure earlier. Having a DAM would potentially allow you to be able to very particularly control access, so you're not exposing it to AI if you don't want to.
Yeah, absolutely. That's a key part of digital asset management is the security and governance to control who has access to what. And in the age of AI, it's important to think about, what does AI have access to? And you can think of DAM as that safe, secure location where your digital assets are your digital assets.
All right. Well, as we're wrapping up, I want to give you one kind of last thing to talk to the business owner and say, okay, here's how you weigh that decision. Am I ready for a DAM? Do I need a DAM? Or do I need to get my ducks in a row? Or at what size business? Kind of give me the final, I don't want to say pitch, but final thought process of making a decision of, is the DAM the right solution for me? We've heard about all the benefits, but kind of wrap it up for me if you could.
Yeah, absolutely. And I'll keep it simple for you. I think sometime today, you're going to need a file, a piece of content. Guaranteed, you're going to need that. Do you know where it is, if it's the most current, if it's the highest quality? And if you can answer yes to that, great. But if you have any concern about that, you might need to consider a dam.
That's a great wrap up. Well, Jake, thank you very much. We hope folks tune in and listen to this episode and whatever we have coming next week. These episodes post weekly, and please enjoy your day for the rest of the day and come back to Techtonic Lounge. Thank you very much.
Thank you.